This video should explain in great detail on how to apply your foundation and prep your face for makeup. First, you want to tone your face after it's been very well cleansed with Ritz Hazel and a cotton ball. Then you want to moisturize with something that has SPF 15 in it, sunblock, because the UV rays from the sun ages your skin. I'm also going to use a primer which is going to hold my makeup, make it last all day, and present a barrier between my makeup and my face. It keeps the makeup from seeping down through my face. It lasts all day, and it shows up well, and it also keeps it from hopefully smudging on your clothes as well. The reason why you want to use the Rich Hazel, it tones your face, closes your pores, and also brings back the correct pH balance. And then you moisturize on top of that once that's set, and then you prime. Here I'm using a makeup setting spray, and they have many. And I'm just wetting a sponge, and this is how I'm going to apply my liquid foundation. I'm using Studio Fix. It's a full coverage makeup by MAC that dries matte, meaning no shine at all. This is just one of the ways that you can apply this makeup. I'm going to use a sponge, and I wet the sponge so that the liquid makeup, doesn't get soaked up into the sponge. So that's why I wet the sponge first with the setting spray. You can also use water to slightly dampen the sponge. And then I'm just going to pat that foundation all over my face, not necessarily rubbing it in to my skin just yet. I'm just patting it in to try and keep the coverage. I believe if you kind of rub it, you're going to rub it into your skin, it's going to disappear like lotion. So I just pat that all over, and if need be, you can let that dry and add another coat if you want more coverage. Most makeups are buildable, meaning you can add different coats. So another way that you can use your liquid foundation is to use a duo fiber brush, and I got this one from MAC Cosmetics, and I added some liquid foundation to the back of my hand, and I'm just dabbing the brush on my hand, and then I'm dabbing it in my face all over, and then I buff it in circular motions. Do not forget to rub the makeup all the way in, up near your hairline, by your ears, down your neck, because you don't want this round mass of makeup. It doesn't blend down. You can rub the makeup down your neck, down your chest, as far as you want, but make sure you blend. You don't have any sharp edges with this makeup. So you see me blending down here. I'm blending down, and I'm blending into the hairline as well. It's very important that you blend your makeup correctly. A new thing for me is I don't add the foundation too much to my eyelids because I'm going to use a primer. And that's just it's just a personal choice. I like it better that way. Because when I'm working on my eyelids with the eyeshadow, the makeup foundation tends to move around a bit and cake up. So I just stopped using it on my eyelid. So now after you finish applying your foundation all over your face, you might want to set it again. You can set your makeup or set your face as much as you want. I'm using MAC's Fix Plus. It's a setting spray. It has a couple of different uses as well. Then I'm going to take the same sponge, and I'm going to use a concealer that's about 2 shades lighter than my skin tone in order to start with the highlighting. So highlighting under my eyes with this concealer to give you a wide awake effect, and I'm just tapping that on in almost like an angel wing type of shape. I stop at the nose, I go all the way back under the eye, and I'm just highlighting more where the sun would possibly hit your face, my forehead, down the tip of my nose. I have some darkness around my mouth, so I do add concealer around my mouth. This is optional as well. This is one way to add your concealer. Then another way to add your concealer or blend it out after you've used a sponge is to use a fluffy brush. This is a brush that I got from MAC. I think it's a 217. And I'll just buff away any harsh lines that you may see so it can blend into my skin. And then with this same brush, I can also, on the other side that I did not use the concealer on, I can add concealer that way as well, that you'll see just here in a minute. So you see me just buffing out any harsh lines, just buffing them out. You're not done with applying makeup to your face, so if you see anything noticeable between the foundation and the concealer, we can get rid of all that with the powders and the setting powder that we use. So you're just buffing under your eye, all the harsh edges. Really good. Light strokes back and forth, really light. And it's blending out pretty good, as you can see. Next up, I'm going to apply concealer with a brush instead of a sponge on the other side under my eye with the same fluffy brush, the 217 brush from MAC. And I'm going to concealer about 2 shades lighter than my skin tone, and I'm buffing that under my eye in the angle wing shape as I did on the other side. And I got up in my tear duct as well with the concealer to open up that, make it bright. I'm just using circular buffing motions, light strokes around the edges to blend out the edges, any harsh lines that may show up. And you can use as much concealer as you need to. You can keep dipping back into your concealer until you get the desired coverage. And there we have it. Next up, we're going to set our foundation, our concealer. I'm using a Bobbi Brown Pale Yellow makeup powder with this fluffy brush here that I also got from MAC, about this size that you see here on the camera. And I'm going to use, this powder is about 2 shades lighter than my normal skin tone. And I use that powder specifically where I highlighted with the concealer to keep with the highlighted effect. I'm just dabbing that on, then rubbing it a little bit in all the places that I added the concealer. And that's going to set it and take away the shine from the concealer that I used. I'm just brushing that all over the concealed areas. And just dabbing it in. You dab it in at first and then you brush it, smooth it out. Alright, next up I'm going to use a Kabuki style brush. Kabuki, MAC has one as well. A couple of makeup companies make it. Then I'm going to use NC40 MAC Studio Fix, or you can use a really light powder, MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. You can use, in this particular video, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix, which is a no-no in everyday world for the average girl to use foundation on top of foundation. Now I use the Studio Fix in liquid, and here I'm using the Studio Fix in the powder form. That's a no-no. I'm piling foundation on top of foundation. So if you're going to use a liquid foundation, the Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC is a light enough powder to brush across your face to take out any shine and to kind of set that liquid foundation. So make sure you blend out that makeup. And with the Kabuki brush, I dab the powder all over my face at first, and then I lightly dust it. So make sure you get that hairline and down that neck. And next up, we'll go into detail about contouring and highlighting in the part 2 video.